We're staying in our GF1031 southeastmadison.dwg file. And as you can see, we're in the ISO A1 landscape layout tab. Now we've got two viewports. This one is at 1 to 100. If you hover over it, as you can see, standard scale 1 to 100. This viewport here, if I hover over it, is at a standard scale of 1 to 40. Now that's great. And what we want to do is be consistent with our dimension annotation in each viewport. Now, when I say consistent, you want the arrowheads the same size, the dimension text the same size, and so on. So at the moment, our dimensions are displaying nicely in the 1 to 100 viewport. And there's a reason for that. Jump back to the Model tab. If we zoom in on, let's say, this dimension here, the 9296, if I select that dimension and then right-click and go to Properties, let's have a look at this dimension and see what properties it has. So if we look there, can you see the dim style is M arrowheads millimeters? It is annotative, and it's using an annotative scale of 1 to 100. So it's the same annotation scale as the viewport. So if you look down on your status bar down here at 1 to 100, and that's what was used, that annotation scale, when these dimensions were placed, these annotative dimensions. Notice the triangle next to the dimension style. That means it's an annotative dimension style. So close the properties palette, hit escape to deselect. Now we're going to just double click on the wheel to zoom extents again. And we're going to now place some dimensions in the restrooms that are going to display in the 1 to 40 viewport. So I now need to change my annotation scale here down on the status bar to 1 to 40. Go up to your layer drop down as well in your layers panel. Make sure that you're using the dimension layer. It's this one here, A010D dim. So make sure you're on the right layer for dimensions. We're then going to zoom in to the restrooms here, like so. And I'm just going to place some simple linear dimensions. You can see the cubicles there. There's the little sort of columns for the cubicles. We're just going to dimension those. Now, I'm going to do this straight off the annotation panel here on the home tab on the ribbon. There's linear. Click on the flyout. There's my dimension types. I'm going to click on linear, and using my object snaps, I'm going to go endpoint to endpoint there. Try and get the endpoint, and then just drag that out. You can see it's a 940 wide cubicle. Now, we might want to do that for the next cubicle down as well. Let's zoom in a bit. We'll do another linear. You can right-click and repeat dim linear if you want to. So I'm going from that endpoint, and let's just pan up a bit, and we want that endpoint there. That one is only 902. If you want it to line in, again, aim for that endpoint on the previously placed dimension. So there's a couple of dimensions there that are in place, and then last but not least, we'll do one more. So we'll go right-click, repeat dim linear. Let's go from that endpoint snap there, and I'll take this one all the way to the wall. So we'll just get in there to that endpoint or intersection there like that. And then we'll come out a bit, and what we'll do, we'll line in with the endpoint of the previously placed dimension. So they're all nice and neat and in line. Now, if I just double click on the wheel now to zoom extents, you'll see that we've got dimensions there and dimensions there. And we've got a 1 to 40 annotation scale. Let's go to the ISO A1 landscape layout tab. What do you notice about the two viewports? The 1 to 100 annotative dimensions display in the 1 to 100 viewport. The 1 to 40 annotative dimensions display in the 1 to 40 viewport. So because you're using the appropriate annotation scale for your annotative dimensions in the Model tab, they then display in the appropriate viewports in the Layout tab. That's how you utilize annotative dimension annotation using an annotative dimension style.